Hello students, good morning. Myself Dr. P.K. Chakravarti, Department of Mathematics, MJK College, Betia. I shall be dealing you today the convergence of P series. That is a very important series and I shall dwell upon the topic. So let us start the convergence of P series. P series, often known as also hyperharmonic series, this series is essentially the foundation stone of the convergence of most series, to be discussed later. Now, students, first of all, we must be apprised the issue of convergence. We must be knowing already that convergence of an infinite series is precisely the convergence of a sequence of its partial sums Sn, where Sn is nothing but the sum of the first n terms of the series. So genuinely, this infinite series summation n ranges from 1 to infinity is said to be convergent if the sequence of its partial sums Sn given by the sequence S1, S2, S3, S4 converges. In other words, if the limit of Sn as n approaches infinity amounts to a definite number L, then the sequence Sn is said to be convergent, and in turn the infinite series summation even is said to be convergent. Now we shall be focusing upon the convergence of P series. Remember, the P series is a series of the shape over summation 1 over n to the power p, where essentially n runs from 1 down infinity. When n is put to 1, it becomes 1 upon 1 raised to the power p, that is completely 1. And when n is put to 2, it is 2 to the power p. When it is put 3, 3 to the power p. Where n is put 4, 4 to the power p, like so on and so forth. Mind, its domain is the set of natural numbers, so n ranges from 1 to infinity. This is the series in question called the P series, or occasionally known as hyperharmonic series. Now students, we shall discuss the convergence of the series. Mind, this series is going to be convergent subject to the conditions laid upon P. So this series is convergent. This series is convergent once P exceeds 1 and divergent otherwise. That means the series is convergent when P is greater than 1 and is divergent when P is less than equal to 1. Mind, for all values of P, it is a positive term series and the series is going to be convergent when P exceeds 1 and it is divergent otherwise. So we shall be proving the issue so that the things is pretty clear. Now going for the proof, we divide it into a few cases. The cases first when P exceeds 1. So case 1 amounts when P exceeds 1. In this case, we introduce some regrouping of the series so that we could compare it with a certain GP, because GP is responsible for immediate convergence and divergence. So anyway, we shall be transforming this series to shape up in terms of GP. So you say we regroup the terms of the series so that we put some bracketing patterns like this. So 2 to the power p, 3 to the power p, we put it together. Then comes the 4 terms put together. Then comes naturally another sequence of 8 terms together in one parenthesis. This would go all the way down 15 to the power p, and this series is continued in this fashion. Now, mind, when p exceeds 1, three to the power p is essentially would be exceeding 2 to the power p. When p is greater than 1, then 3 raised to the power p is greater than 2 to the power p. This means 1 upon 3 to the power p is less than 1 upon 2 to the power p, and adding 1 upon 2 to the power p on both sides gives you the 1 upon 2 to the power p plus 1 upon 2 to the power p. This is equal to 2 upon 2 to the power p, and this is going to be 1 upon 2 to the power p minus 1. So the first parenthesis is encountered by this expression. Likewise, the second parenthesis is also dominated by some another 2 to the power p sequence. Remember, the parenthesis has been designed so as to see the first parenthesis has 2 terms, second has 4 terms, third parenthesis has 8 terms, fourth parenthesis has 16 terms. So the number of terms in each parenthesis also follows some sequence 2 to the power n, where n is in the natural number. So if you put n is 1, you have 2 to the power 1 element in the first parenthesis, 2 to the power 2 elements in the second parenthesis, 2 to the power 3 elements in the third parenthesis. We have grouped the terms of the series in this manner. Now, likewise, the second parenthesis, 1 upon 4 to the power p, 1 upon 5 to the power p, 1 upon 6 to the power p, 1 upon 7 to the power p. Can you guess what sort of inequality is going to be here? Because 5 to the power p exceeds 4 to the power p, so the reciprocal in this fashion also dominated by its reciprocal. So it is less than 1 upon 4 to the power p plus 1 upon 4 to the power p plus 1 upon 4 to the power p plus 1 upon 4 to the power p. This is nothing but 4 raised to the power 4 upon 4 raised to the power p. This is 2 squared upon 2 squared 2 to the power p. So simplifying in this manner, it goes 2 raised to the power 2 times p minus 1. Likewise, if it is proceeded in the similar manner, then 1 upon 8 to the power p, the members of the third parenthesis would experience almost the same sort of inequality, 1 upon 2 to the power 3 into p minus 1. So, bearing the infinite mode, this series is continued ad infinitum in this fashion, leading to the genuine inequality at hand, that is expressed as summation 1 upon n to the power p. Actually, this series was nothing but summation 1 upon n to the power p when expanded, So 1 is equal to 1, but these two terms together is dominated by this. It is less than 1 upon 2 to the power p minus 1. So instead of this equal to, the inequality is in place. Likewise, the four terms of the series is dominated by is less than 1 upon 2 to the power 2 times p minus 1. Likewise, this series is now dominated by a distinctive geometric series. The importance of this geometric series underlines the convergence of the series, because in the case 1 in which we are dealing, p, remember, p exceeds 1. This implies p minus 1 is positive. So 2 raised to the power p minus 1 is going to be t to the power 0. That is nothing but 1. So 1 upon 2 to the power p minus 1 is less than 1. This implies, or this suggests simply, that this geometric progression bears the common ratio 1 upon 2 to the power p minus 1, and this geometric series has the common ratio preceding 1, that is less than 1. And any geometric series having the common ratio less than 1 is essentially convergent, as you know. So geometric series is the decider for most of the situations in infinite series. Geometric series is convergent when the common ratio is less than 1. Now right hand series is a geometric series having the common ratio less than 1. As such, the right hand side series is convergent. So this infinite series is convergent because its common ratio is less than 1. Had its common ratio been exactly 1 or exceeding 1, the series would have been divergent. But when the common ratio is less than 1, precisely the GP is convergent. When it is convergent and the actual series is less than something convergent, then by immediate comparison we can say that the series in question is immediately convergent. Because anything less than a convergent means it is focusing upon a definite number, and anything less than that number is also focusing upon something lower to that number, so it is also convergent. So summation 1 upon n to the power p, which is lesser than any definite number, is also another smaller number, indicating it is going to be convergent. It is immediately convergent. So first part of the theorem is fulfilled, that the summation 1 upon n to the power p is convergent when p exceeds 1. Now the two cases remaining may be dealt now. So we discuss the case 2 of this series when p is exactly 1. Summation 1 over n to the power p is going nothing but rather it is summation 1 upon n. When p is exactly 1, it is n raised to the power 1, so it is 1 upon n. And when we dislodge this, open this, we are going to get this kind of series. This series is popularly known as harmonic series. This series, harmonic series, is divergent. So we must prove this issue by introducing some inequality. So summation 1 upon n to the power p, which is now summation 1 upon n. So rebracketing the terms of the series like this: 1 upon 5, 1 upon 6, 1 upon 7, 1 upon 8. So grouping the terms of the series now in this fashion. Now it is exceeding to 1 plus 1 by 2, because 1 by 3 is greater than 1 by 4. So 1 by 3 is greater than 1 by 4, and adding 1 by 4 to this, it becomes greater than 2 by 4. It is greater than 4 by 8. You can easily visualize these aspects. Actually, 1 upon 3 is greater than 1 upon 4. Adding 1 upon 4 to each, we have 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4. This is 2 by 4. So we have grouped in this manner that 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4 exceeds 2 by 4. Likewise, 1 by 5 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 7 plus 1 by 8. Each one exceeds 1 by 8 in this fashion. Likewise, we could write 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 like this. Mind half plus half 1, half plus half 1. This process is continued in the ad infinitum. If we add n terms of the series, it becomes n. Now n is given the operation a limit process to infinity grows to infinity. By common sense, we can add finitely to see the sum of first n terms as n. Now letting limit n tends to infinity, because the number of terms are infinitely many, so its sum is going to be infinity, indicating that this harmonic series has the sum infinity, meaning thereby that this series is divergent. So we have to remember the harmonic series is a divergent series. Finally, we deal the last segment of the theorem, case 3, when p precedes 1. When p precedes 1, precisely n to the power p is less than n to the power 1, and going by the reciprocal, the inequality is suddenly changed. 1 upon n to the power p exceeds 1 upon n. So operating summation convention, 1 upon summation 1 upon n to the power p is greater than summation 1 over n. Now summation 1 over n is seen to be divergent. So that case, it implies summation 1 by n was proved to be divergence just now. So this series was divergent when p was equal to 1, and so p equal to 1 means summation 1 over n was now just seen to be divergent. So this series is divergent, and anything greater than divergence is also a divergent one. It is immediate comparison, because anything bigger than infinity we cannot expect like this, but anything bigger than infinity will be intuitively it will be larger infinity in sense. So if its sum is infinity, it is going to be larger infinity intuitively. This means its sum is also infinity, meaning thereby that summation 1 by n to the power p, which is divergent, which is already known to be divergent, which is already known to be divergent, which is already known to be divergent, that is diverges. Hence, by immediate comparison, summation 1 over n to the power p is divergent. By immediate comparison, we find that this series is divergent. So students, ultimately we found the conclusion that summation 1 upon n to the power p, known as the p series, is going to be convergent when p exceeds 1 and is divergent when p precedes 1 or at best equal to 1. So this is the conclusion which we have dealt so far in this short theorem known as the standard series, and more importantly it is known as p series or hyperharmonic series. That's all.